rise and remove your caps as we honor America and those who protect her, as our national anthem is performed by Fleming Consonant.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched was so gallantly free, and the rockets rang the anthem of bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
The only thing better than a walk-off win is getting to come back the next day and have the opportunity for something magical to happen all over again, and that's exactly what we get to do today. Good evening, everyone. Kendrick Fruits here with you, as always, as we get set for Game 2 of a midweek series between the High Point Rockers and the Lancaster Barnstormers. Rockers take yesterday 5-4 in a 10-inning affair, and Justin Nicolino taking his warm-up tosses as we get set for Game 2. Again, the lineup that Nicolino will be facing is Mercedes, Lair, Feliz, Shaver, Dugan, Zagunis, Cordero, Clark, and Hoover. Justin Nicolino making his second start of the year, 5.79 the earned run average. Here comes Melvin Mercedes, 1 for 5 yesterday, and he's hitting 190 on the year with 2 runs batted in. Nicolino comes set, and the lefty kicks and fires. First pitch is a fastball down and in, and we're underway. Shadows down the right and left field side. The majority of the infield grass section is in shadow. The quote-unquote dirt portion of this all-turf field is in sunlight as Mercedes takes a strike at the knees and the count 1-1. First pitch today at 6:35. We're right on schedule. And Nicolino delivers the 1-1. That's going to be a strike on the outside corner, 1-2. Game time weather, 69 degrees and sunny. It'll drop down to the low 60s by the time we are finished tonight, but a very pleasant evening at Truist Point tonight. First pitch time and weather brought to you by Grandover Resort in Greensboro. Live, work, enjoy. The 1-2 from Nicolino swung on and fouled off of the head of Chris Proctor, the catcher. And it's going to go all the way down to the Lancaster bullpen. Had a little juice on it there. Nicolino, who throughout his career has not traditionally been known necessarily as a strikeout guy, did strike out 6 on opening day against Kentucky. Here comes the 1-2. Swung on, popped up over my head onto the concourse, and the count remains 1-2. If you've been to Truist Point, my location is I'm staring right down the third base line. I've got a perfect view of anything fair or foul down the third base side. So not directly behind home plate. Here comes the 1-2 from Nicolino. A fastball reaches out to Mercedes and hits it on the ground to first base. Jerry Downs will take it himself. And that is the first out of the inning. We'll go ahead and set the Rockers defensively for you. Johnny Field is in center, and on either side of him, you've got Aklinski in left. Jay Gonzalez is in right. Third to first around the infield, Xander Wheel, Tyler Latendorf, Michael Russell, Jerry Downs, and Chris Proctor is the man behind the plate. Here comes the pitch, and there's a fastball strike to Trace Lair. Lair hitting 3 for 18 this year. Nicolino delivers the 0-1. There's a fastball. There's a strike. And the count 0-2. Home plate umpire today, Ruben Ramirez. Calvin Baker down the first base side. And Levante Palmer will handle second and third. Nicolino holds the set at the belt. Here comes the 0-2 to Lair. Fastball, strike 3 looking on the inside corner. That is out number 2. That'll bring up Anderson Feliz. Feliz yesterday 2 for 5. He's hitting .286 on the year with 1 run batted in. Already a good start today for Justin Nicolino. And here comes the first pitch fastball. That's just outside. And the count 1-0. 86 pitches for Nicolino on opening day. And here comes the 1-0. Swung on and flared out into right field. Jay Gonzalez rocking the shades. Makes the catch out there in right field. And it is a 1-2-3 first inning for Justin Nicolino. We head to the bottom of the first. Lancaster doesn't score, and the Rockers coming up to bat on the Rockers Baseball Network.
The Rocking Horse. Here he comes. Let's cheer him on as he makes his way around the field. For all of your farm equipment needs, be sure to visit Sid Farm Equipment in Lexington, North Carolina. Folks, give a big welcome to Hype.
Bottom of inning number 1, rather. We'll go ahead and take a look now at the starting pitcher for the Barnstormers. It's Dominic DiSabatino, 0-1, 4.50 the ERA. Gave up 2 earned runs in 4 innings in his lone outing so far. Looked good against the Rockers last year in a game at Clipper Magazine Stadium. Struck out 11 batters in 6 innings of work. And the lineup that he'll be dealing with: Field, Russell, Downs, Morrison, Wheel, Aklinski, Ladendorf, Proctor, and Gonzalez. The Rockers yesterday managed to pick up 7 base hits. That coming a day after they also had 7 against the Genomes, 2 days after 7 against the Genomes on Sunday. And so Johnny Field will be making his way to the plate to lead things off in the bottom of the inning. Johnny Field, 2 of 16 with an RBI. Both of his hits came yesterday, one of which was an RBI double. Here comes the first pitch from DiSabatino. Field takes, and the count is 1-0. Good first take there from Johnny Field. DiSabatino, right-handed pitcher, and he delivers a fastball. There's a strike at the knees, and the count 1-1. The Rockers today, as they have the entirety of the season so far, going with the white pants, white jerseys, Rockers in block lettering across the chest, blue numbers beneath it, and blue numbers on the back. Field chases a pitch down in the dirt, and the count 1-2. Barnstormers today are going with gray pants and a white jersey with a couple of stripes down the arm sleeves, a larger black band, and then what looks like perhaps a white band with 2 gray ones around it near the end of the sleeve. As that pitch, strike 3 looking, down goes Field, out number 1. The Barnstormers have white numbering on their uniforms with the letters LAN for Lancaster on the front. Black hats with a red bill. Here's Michael Russell, 3 of 18. On-base percentage, though, is pretty good at .348. He's got 2 steals. After a couple of rough offensive games, he's looking to get back in the swing of it. First pitch taking strike 1. DiSabatino, another fastball, this one outside, and the count 1-1 strike. Michael Russell oh for 3 last night, walked twice. Easy take outside on the fastball that just about got away from the catcher, Shaver. It was 0 for 3 yesterday, was 0 for 4 on Sunday. Swing and a miss on a pitch down and away. And the count 2-2. 0 for 3 on Saturday, so that puts him 0 for his last 10. Had a base hit to end Friday, so it's been 10 at-bats for Michael Russell without a base hit. Here comes the 2-2. Off speed, at the knees, strike 3. Back-to-back looking strikeouts for Dominic DiSabatino to start this one. That's one of the things we talked about at the beginning of the show today, is the fact that DiSabatino has that swing and miss stuff. And he's just not even giving the Rockers an opportunity to swing. It's just strike 3 looking and sit down. Speaking of down, here's Jerry Downs. First pitch missing low, ball 1. Jerry Downs hitting 100 with a home run and 3 batted in, and has a steal. The 1-0 from DiSabatino, off speed, and that's in there for a strike, 1-1. Downs yesterday 1 for 5. That coming after blasting a 3-run home run Sunday, so a modest 2-game hitting streak for Downs. He swings and hits this one high in the air to right field. Zagunis going back at the wall. Rockabye baseball off the video board. Jerry Downs goes deep for the second time this year, and the Rockers take a 1-0 lead. Jerry Downs really starting to feel it. You can tell the way that he's swinging the bat right now, the way that he's been swinging the bat the last couple of days. Rockers on top, 1-0. Here's Logan Morrison, 3 of 15 with 1 run batted in. Rockers would love for him to get started just the way the Downs has started to heat up as he takes strike 1. And DiSabatino delivers. Morrison takes at the knees. That's a strike also, and the count quickly 0-2. Well, right when it looked like Dominic DiSabatino was about to just breeze through the first inning, Jerry Downs had other plans. Timeout called at the plate. And here comes the 0-2. Morrison thought about offering at it, did not, and the count 1-2. If he hits like he did last year, I don't see a scenario where Jerry Downs is here the whole year, but if for some reason he is, get ready for what could be another historic year offensively as Morrison fouls that one off. The count stays 1-2. Last year, Jerry Downs, most home runs hit by a left-handed hitter in a Rockers season with 22. Also set a team record with 81 runs batted in. Here comes the pitch. Slider just inside. A good take from Morrison in the count 2-2. DiSabatino gets the sign and delivers. Here's the pitch to Morrison. Pops this one up. Shallow center. Racing out is Mercedes. Going out is Hoover. Hoover fighting the sun. Slides. And he makes an impressive catch. What a play there by the Lancaster shortstop, Jake Hoover. And that is the final out of the inning. You've got to give credit where credit's due. Hoover just made a fantastic running play out to the outfield fighting the sun. And that ends the first inning, but not before a solo home run off the bat of Jerry Downs gives the Rockers a 1-0 lead as we head to the second on the Rockers Baseball Network. Top of inning number 2, and the Rockers have given Justin Nicolino a 1-0 lead to work with here. Nicolino will be facing 4, 5, and 6 after he had a 1-2-3 first inning. It'll be Colton Shaver, Kelly Dugan, and Mark Zagunis. Colton Shaver yesterday put together a 1-for-4 afternoon. He also came across and scored a run. On the year, hitting an even 200 with a home run and 2 batted in. Here comes the first pitch of the inning. Swing and a miss from Shaver. And the count 0-1. Shaver's a big guy, listed at 6'1", but 249 pounds from Panama City, Florida. Played for the Sugarland Skeeters, AAA of the Astros last year, the former Atlantic League club. That pitch inside, and the count 1-1. Here comes the pitch to Shaver, and that just misses. 2 balls and a strike now. Rockers have had the Barnstormers number historically at home. We'll tell you about it here in just a moment. First, the 2-1 swung on, hit on the ground toward short. Ladendorf picks it up, throws to first base in time. And that's the second out of the inning, and Nicolino's retired the first 4. In 2019 here at Truist Point, the Rockers went 8-1 against the Barnstormers. Last year they went 4-1. And so far 1-0 this year, which means that all time they have put together a 13-2 mark at Truist Point against the Barnstormers. But it goes further than that also. They've also just had success against Lancaster in general, as the first pitch a called strike to Kelly Dugan. All time, the Rockers 24-8 against the Barnstormers, including 16-4 in 2019. Here comes the 1-0 to Dugan. Big swing and a miss on the off-speed pitch down and in. The count 1-1. Kelly Dugan, 2 of 11 with an RBI this year. Missed a little bit of time at the beginning of the season with an injury. But as you can see back in the lineup, he'll get you low teens in terms of home run power. Somewhere in the 13 to 15 range as that pitch low. But he'll hit 300 and will hit his share of doubles in the process. Nicolino comes set. And delivers. Here's the pitch swung on. That's going to be lined into right center field. And just on cue, that one's going to roll to the wall. And Kelly Dugan is in with a double. That's the first hit of the game for the Barnstormers. And that'll bring up Mark Zagunis. Zagunis hitting at 3 for 17 with a couple of RBIs this year. And the Barnstormers will have a runner in scoring position. 2 for 13 in these opportunities last night. I'll do the math for you there. That comes out to a batting average of 154 with runners in scoring position. First pitch coming to Zagunis. It's a fastball. He swings and misses. The count 0-1. Rockers, on the other hand, 4 of 14 with runners in scoring position. That translates to a 286 average. Nicolino retired the first 4 hitters on a ground out, a strikeout, a fly out, and then a ground out before the double to Dugan. Here comes the 0-1. Fastball at the knees. That's a strike. And the count 0-2. Well, on opening day for Nicolino, he got through the first inning no problem, ran into trouble in the second. So far today, he got through the first inning, no problem. We'll see how the second inning goes. Here comes the 0-2. That's down, and it's going to hit the ankle of Zagunis. He kind of paused for a moment. It's almost as if he wasn't sure how to react, but definitely clipped him on the ankle as he's slightly hobbling his way down to first base. That's tough for Nicolino to lose him. 0-2 and then to hit the batter. That'll bring up Andretti Cordero, 7 of 19, 2 home runs, 5 batted in. Without question, Cordero has been the best hitter for the Barnstormers through their first 5 games. We'll see how hobbled Zagunis is, potentially. The Rockers are set up well for a double play. First pitch to Cordero, curveball, in there for a strike, and the count 0-1. Looking at the Atlantic League standings and where these two teams find themselves, the Rockers sitting in what would be third place in the South, as Charleston and Gastonia are tied in first. Rockers are one game behind the Dirty Birds and Honey Hunters. The 0-1, fastball upstairs, and they count 1-1. Barnstormers find themselves in 4th out of 5 in the North Division. They are 1-4, 2.5 out of first place. The Staten Island Ferry Hawks at the bottom 0-4, still looking for their first win. Nicolino holds the set. Here comes the 1-1, fastball up and away, and they count 2-1 now. Runner at second base is Dugan. Runner at first base is Zagunis. Rockers on top 1-0. If you're just joining us, we're in the top of the second. The scoring in the bottom of the first came off a solo home run from Jerry Downs. The 2-1 coming here. High fastball, but Cordero chases it anyways. Strike 2, and they count 2-2. Ladarius Clark in the on-deck circle. It's the number 8 hitter for the Barnstormers, described by Barnstormers broadcaster Dave Collins as a walking highlight reel. This one flared out into right center field. Gonzalez going back and makes a nice catch as he eventually stops himself by putting his hands out on the wall. Dugan will head over to third. Zagunis holds at first, and the fly ball to right field is the second out of the inning. So runners at the corners now for the Barnstormers, and the hitter is Ladarius Clark. Clark hitless in 4 at-bats yesterday. Check that, he was 1 for 4 yesterday. Nicolino just looking for the final out of the second inning here. Fastball, that's a called strike, count 0-1. Rockers come into today with the top earned run average in the Atlantic League for starting pitchers. It came in today at 2 even, 6 earned runs in 27 innings pitched. They were also the top starting pitching staff in terms of strikeouts, 26 strikeouts in those 27 innings. Clark swings and misses. He's down in the count 0-2. Conversely, the starting pitching staff of the Barnstormers rated the worst in the Atlantic League in earned run average with 8.53 the number. Nicolino comes set. Here comes an 0-2. With runners at the corners, that one just missing away. Nicolino took a bit of a walk down the mound thinking he had strike 3. But Ruben Ramirez doesn't give him the call, and the count is 1-2. The Rockers lefty comes set just above the belt, kicks and fires. That's down low, tried to get Clark to chase, he did not. And it's now 2 balls and 2 strikes to the Lancaster center fielder. Runners take their leads off of the corners. Here's the 2-2. Chopped. High chopper, third base side, cut off by Wheel in front of Ladendorf. The throw to first is in time, and that's the final out of the inning. It was a slow developing play as Xander Wheel kind of had to wait on it to come back down, cut it off in front of Ladendorf because he had the better angle to first, and fired it over there to get Ladarius Clark. So the Barnstormers put runners at the corners, but they do not score. We head to the bottom of inning number 2. Rockers lead it 1-0 on the Rockers Baseball Network.
CEO of the Dallas Mavericks, and I am proud to be High Point University's sports executive in residence.
I'm Mark Randolph, and I'm proud to be the entrepreneur in residence at the premier life skills university, High Point University.
Hi, fans, it's time for our Smile Cam. Come on, fans, let's see all those beautiful smiles. The Smile Cam is brought to you by Dr. Bradley Samuel. You need a great dentist, call ours at 336-883-2316 or visit www.bradleyasamuelbds.com.
Bottom of inning number 2, Dominic DiSabatino takes the mound again for the Barnstormers, down 1-0 thanks to a solo home run from Jerry Downs. DiSabatino last year, his 11 victories led the Barnstormers, tied for third in the Atlantic League. Last year, the 11 strikeouts he had against the Rockers back on July 22nd was tied for the most by any Barnstormers pitcher in all of last year. Tied yesterday's starter Cameron Gann, in fact. He'll be facing 5, 6, and 7. That's Wheel, Aklinski, and Ladendorf. First pitch to Wheel, misses down low in the count 1-0. We did not get you the defensive alignment for the Barnstormers in the bottom of the first inning, so we'll get it for you here. First, the 1-0 pitch to Wheel. Big swing and a miss on the high fastball in the count 1-1. Left to right in the outfield is Feliz, Clark, and Zagunis. Around the infield, Lair, Hoover, Mercedes, Cordero. Shaver behind the plate, and of course, DiSabatino is on the mound. Here comes the 1-1 to Xander Wheel. The righty kicks and fires. Wheel a big swing. He's on top of it in the count 1-2. That is the 8th home run allowed by the Barnstormers this year. As Wheel hits this one down the right field side, it's deep. Zagunis going back, and he will not make the catch. The ball bounced, it looked like off the top of his glove. Wheel is heading to third. Jamie Keefe's now waving him around. Here comes the Xander Wheel heading home as the ball bounced away from Zagunis. We'll see how that gets scored, whether or not it hit the glove, but Xander Wheel motors around the bases. And they're going to give him an inside the park home run. Xander Wheel shows off the wheels. Rockers double it. It's 2-0. Xander Wheel, his first home run of the year. His 5th run batted in. That's just the 2nd inside the park home run in Rockers history. Stephen Cardullo had one at Gastonia last year. That pitch a strike to Aklinski. So the ball was hit high in the air to right. As that pitch down low. And Zagunis went back on it. Almost looked like the ball had hit off his glove, but what it ended up doing was hitting at the bottom of the wall at such an angle that it jutted back towards the field of play as Aklinski lines this one foul, and a diving effort by Lair falls just short. And the count 1-2. So Zagunis goes back. The ball hits just off of the base of the wall and caromed back in towards the infield. Xander Wheel never stopped hustling all the way around the base paths for an inside the park home run. A ball and 2 strikes to Aklinski. That one inside from DiSabatino, and the count now 2-2. Well, for a guy like Xander Wheel, who's been billed as the big power hitter and a huge addition in terms of home runs for the Rockers team, he gets it done with the legs here in the 2nd inning. Strike 3 looking. Aklinski is punched out. That's the 3rd strikeout by DiSabatino today, all 3 of them of the looking variety. And that'll bring up Tyler Ladendorf. Ladendorf struggling to start the year, hitting .095. Hitless since opening day. Takes a fastball strike there from DiSabatino, and the count is 0-1. Well, you've got to get to the Barnstormers early, which is exactly what the Rockers have done today, as that pitch down low, and the count is 1-1. 72% of all runs the Barnstormers have allowed this year have come in the first 3 innings. It's 23 out of 32. Ladendorf takes down and away, and they count 2-1. In a similar fashion, a lot of the runs the Rockers scored this year have come in the first 3 innings. That was helped out by 6 runs on Sunday. This one popped up into shallow right center. The second baseman, Mercedes, goes back, and he'll make the catch. That's out number 2. Chris Proctor 1 for 6 on the year. Started the middle 2 games of the Kentucky series. First pitch fastball from DiSabatino, missed just low. And the count 1-0. The righty delivers, and Proctor delivers it right back up the middle, and Ladarius Clark couldn't find it. That ball almost got by him. He just stood there waiting to see the baseball, and it ends up being a base hit for Proctor. It would have been a single either way, or would have been a hit either way, but potentially could have gotten past Clark. But as it stands, it's a 2-out single for Proctor, and here comes Jay Gonzalez, 2 for 10. First pitch fastball to Jay Gonzalez. That missed. And the count 1-0. Rockers on top 2-0. A pair of home runs. One over the fence by Jerry Downs in the first. One off of the fence by Xander Wheel here in the second. The 1-0 to Gonzalez. Fastball inside. No, it's going to catch the inside corner. A late call from home plate umpire Ruben Ramirez. And the count 1-1. Jay Gonzalez had a few words for Ramirez there. DiSabatino holds the set as Proctor takes his lead off of first. Here's the 1-1. It's a curve that stays away, and the count 2-1. Rockers continuing to give Justin Nicolino a little bit of cushion. 1 run in the first, 1 in the second. Check over to first base on Proctor. He's back in safely. Yesterday, Jason Manzueta did not give up a run until the 6th inning. Neil Uscali on Sunday didn't give up a run until the 4th. Here comes the pitch. Gonzalez into left field, coming in on it, and not being able to make the play is Feliz. He dove for it, but just succeeded in knocking the ball down. The throw comes into second. It's a high throw. It's a late throw. And Jay Gonzalez is into second. Chris Proctor is in at third. And the Rockers have 2 in scoring position with 2 outs in the second inning. Should end up being a double there for Jay Gonzalez. Gonzalez now 3 of 11 on the year, and that'll bring up Johnny Field, who struck out looking in his first at-bat. Two runners in scoring position here for Field. And DiSabatino's first pitch swung on. That's lined into left center field. Ladarius Clark goes late. He dives and just knocks it down. Proctor scores. Gonzalez scores. And it is a 2-run double for Johnny Field. Rockers lead 4-0 now. The second RBI double in as many days for Field. That sun just wreaking havoc on Ladarius Clark out there, and really all the outfielders for the Barnstormers, as Ross Peoples is going to go out and talk. Actually, they may be pitching coach Mark Johnson going out there to talk. 3 runs in for High Point in the inning number 2. A solo inside the park home run for Xander Wheel. And a 2-run double moments ago from Chris Proctor. Or from Johnny Field, rather. It scored Proctor and Gonzalez. And the Barnstormers, who came into today with the worst earned run average by starting pitchers in the Atlantic League, that number is going up right now. Here's Michael Russell, who struck out in his last at-bat. And the recipe for success is hit it on the air in the outfield. You see Ladarius Clark out there still shielding his eyes with his glove. Here comes the pitch from DiSabatino, and that one's down low, and it gets away from Shaver to the backstop. And the wild pitch moves Johnny Field up to third. Rockers getting it done in the early stages here today. 5 hits already. As Russell fouls this one off down the third base side, count 1-1. Russell is the 7th batter to come up this inning. DiSabatino comes set and delivers the 1-1 here to Field, or to Russell rather, a slow roller to third base. Lair picks it up, the throw on the run in time. And that's the final out of the inning. But the Rockers get 3, an inside the park home run from Xander Wheel and a 2-run double from Johnny Field. They lead it now 4-0 as we head to the third inning on the Rockers Baseball Network.
Fans, it's now time for the Tire Shuffle, presented by High Point Tire and Automotive. Please turn your attention to the jumbotron. Be sure to shout out your answer. Whether it's A, B, or C.
Top of the third inning, Rockers leading the Barnstormers 4-0 your score. Well, I said after it was 2-0 that they had given Justin Nicolino quite a bit of cushion. Well, it's been doubled since then. Nicolino will be facing Hoover, Mercedes, and Lair. Nicolino works from the stretch, and here's the first pitch. Hit on the ground, right back to the mound. Nicolino grabs it. The throw is low. Jerry Downs has to scoop it, but he does. Nicolino pats his chest, says, "My bad." That's the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up Melvin Mercedes. That's the reason that Jerry Downs was named all defensive team at first base last year. Melvin Mercedes grounded out to first, speaking of Jerry Downs, in the first inning. He's been struggling to get the batting average up over 200. It now sits at 182. Here comes the pitch from Nicolino, a fastball just inside. And the Rockers lefty, high leg kick and all, delivers fastball, strike, and the count 1-1. Well, the good thing is, with a lead like this, the Rockers used 5 out of the bullpen yesterday. A lot of the big guns came in with it being an extra inning game. This curveball fouled off towards the Lancaster dugout, and the count 1-2. The good thing is, you can get maybe 6 out of Nicolino, maybe into the 7th. And then from there, either use 1 or 2 guys. The Rockers brought in a few new arms today. Max McDowell and Gavin Wayman. They could come in and spell some of the regulars as that pitch fouled off and the count's still 1-2. But if you listen to the pregame interview today, the big thing that Neil Uscali was talking about, and it resonates true here for Nicolino as well, is getting strike one, which he's been able to do for the most part pretty successfully as that pitch misses and the count 2-2. Bases empty, 1 out, top of the 3rd inning. Chris Proctor giving the signs to Nicolino. The shadows are creeping out into the outfield now, and it shouldn't be long before the outfielder should be in good shape as far as not being able to see the ball. Really, the Rockers came to bat at the sweet spot in terms of sunset. But they hit a couple of flares into the outfield that played in their advantage. Here comes the pitch, fastball low. And the count goes full. Good battle here from Melvin Mercedes. Was down 1-2. He's worked it now to a full count. Nicolino delivers the 3-2. That is strike 3. Mercedes tossed the bat thinking it was ball 4, but Ruben Ramirez rings him up. That is the 2nd strikeout today for Nicolino, both of which have been looking. And that'll bring up Trace Lair now, who struck out. Nicolino comes set. Here comes the first pitch to Lair. Swing and a miss on one down in the dirt. Took something off of it and tried to get him to chase, and that's exactly what happened. Trace Lair hitting at 158. That's 3 for 19 with a lone RBI. Nicolino's 0-1. Same pitch. They're going to check down to first base, or to third base rather, and Levante Palmer says he goes around. So same pitch, same result. And the count now 0-2 rather to Trace Lair. Nicolino ready to put him away. Here comes the 0-2. It's the fastball, and it's strike 3 looking. A 1-2-3 for Justin Nicolino. A shutdown inning, and we head to the bottom of the 3rd with the Rockers on top by a score of 4-0 on the Rockers Baseball Network.
Also, please welcome the kids from American Children's Home and the Golden Oldies.
Bottom of the third inning. Rockers lead it by a score of 4-0, and it'll be Downs, Morrison, and Wheel. 2 of the 3 of them have hit home runs today. Only 1 of them has left the ballpark. Jerry Downs a solo home run in the first. Morrison a pop-up in the first. And Xander Wheel an inside-the-park home run in the last inning for the Rockers. Dominic DiSabatino in his 2 innings so far only thrown 41 pitches. But the ERA has gone from 4.50 to 9. Here comes the first pitch to Downs. He swings in a high fly ball, shallow left. Feliz coming in, and he'll make the play. That's out number 1. Logan Morrison, the designated hitter, he's still looking to break out this year. Couple of hard-hit baseballs last night for Morrison, hitting at 188 with 1 RBI. An extreme pull is what the defense is playing for. First pitch to Morrison, a fastball away, and the count 1-0. Andretti Cordero is playing almost on the first baseline. The shortstop Hoover is standing right behind second base, and the third baseman Lair is in the shortstop position. Off speed inside to Morrison, and the count 2-0. Well, in the Atlantic League, the name alone, Logan Morrison, certainly carries a little bit of weight, as he's probably one of the biggest hitters to have played in the Atlantic League, especially in recent memory, in terms of major league success as he swings through it, and the count 2-1. And I say that to say that a lot of guys pitch him carefully because they know what he's done in the past. Here comes the pitch. Check swing. Did he go? Levante Palmer says he did not. And they count 3-1 now to Morrison. It was off speed, down and away. DiSabatino gets the sign from Shaver. Here comes the 3-1 to Morrison, a fastball, and Logan fouls it straight back, and the count goes full. Last year, the fabled home run that Logan Morrison hit over the scoreboard was off of Dominic DiSabatino, and Morrison fouls this one off. That came in the 8th inning on June the 2nd, the day after opening day. Morrison hit a pair of home runs, one off of Danny Taggart early on in the game, and then that one coming off DiSabatino in the 8th. Here comes a 3-2. Swung on, and that's hit in the air to right field. Zagunis is there, and he'll make the catch. That's the second out of the inning. Brings up Xander Wheel, who's inside the park home run in the second. Gave him 5 runs batted in. That is the team high. The former Vanderbilt University slugger digs into the right-handed box. Here comes the pitch from DiSabatino. It's a slider that catches the inside corner, and the count 0-1. If you see the way the Xander Wheel uncoils on a couple during batting practice, you know that he's capable of hitting the ball a long, long way. Same pitch for DiSabatino, different location though, missed inside, and the count 1-1. Ben Niklinski in the on-deck circle. Rockers have scored in each of the first 2 innings. But DiSabatino has retired the first 2 hitters here in the third, as this one's popped up. Shallow left. Hoover going back, calling for it, and he'll make the catch. And it is a 1-2-3 inning in the third for Dominic DiSabatino. We head to the fourth. Rockers lead it 4-0 on the Rockers Baseball Network.
All right, Rockers fans, we are super hyped up. Everybody loves the classic Dizzy Bat Challenge. Over here we have Caden and Seneca. They've never played before, but they know the rules. So they're going to grab those bats. They're going to put their heads down on top of the bunting bat. They have to spin until I say stop. Then they are going to run over to the mic, head over to the first base. And whoever gets to stand first is the winner. You guys ready? 3, 2, 1, spin. Make the noise for it, guys. Woo! Keep going, guys. Keep going. Keep going. Oh, we're getting extra dizzy. All right, drop those bats. Turn around for Mike. Oh, my gosh. We have a win now. Nice job, guys. That took the time.
Thanks, Brittany. You sure got excited when that young man fell down.
Top of the fourth, Justin Nicolino has put 3 zeros up on the board up to this point. 4-0 the score. And Nicolino, after a 1-2-3 third, will face Feliz, Shaver, and Dugan. That is the 3, 4, and 5 portion of the lineup. Anderson Feliz flied out to right in his first at-bat this evening. Proctor's setting up away. And here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Slider down, and the count 0-1. The Charleston Dirty Birds come into town this weekend. Billy Horn, the former Rockers bench coach, brings his first-place squad into Truist Point. Fireworks on Friday. Family Fun Day Sunday, presented by Bethany Medical Center as that pitch fouled off. Count 0-2. You don't want to miss the good times to be had here at the ballpark this weekend. Grab your tickets, highpointrockers.com. Also, you can go there for information on group outings. You want to bring the family, bring a group, work group, social group, whatever group, bring them out to the ballpark. As Feliz swings and misses. That is the fourth strikeout from Nicolino, the first of the swinging variety. There's one out here in the fourth inning, and that'll bring up Shaver. Colton Shaver is 0 for 1 today, as are most of the Barnstormers, with just one hit on the scoreboard. Fastball misses away from Nicolino, and the count is 1-0. Here comes the 1-0. Fastball, there's a strike, and the count 1-1. We'll take a look at the Atlantic League scoreboard here. We mentioned the extra inning game, Lexington taking down York 13-12 in 10 innings earlier today as that pitch fastball away. And the count 2-1. Gastonia thumping the Genomes 8-2, top of the fourth inning. John Anderson all over Dustin Beggs today. The Honey Hunters doing it without a home run. That pitch fouled off in the count 2-2. That was pitch number 50 from Nicolino. How about former High Point Rocker Stuart Levy has added a triple today? 6 of the 8 runs allowed by Beggs have been earned. Elsewhere, the Ducks leading the Dirty Birds. They're in the bottom of the third inning. It's 3-2 in that one. And Staten Island, an early 1-0 lead over the Blue Crabs. Julio Tehran versus Darryl Thompson. That'll be a good one. A fly ball into center field. It'll drop in front of Johnny Field, and it will be a one-out single for Shaver. That'll bring up Kelly Dugan, who's doubled today. But back to that matchup, Julio Teheran, perhaps the biggest major league pitching name in the Atlantic League this year, versus Darryl Thompson, who, of course, is the greatest pitcher in Atlantic League history. The run that Thompson has allowed is unearned. Julio Teheran is not allowed a hit in 3 innings of work, or 2 innings of work so far, going to the 3rd. Here's the pitch to Dugan, and that will be popped up out of play, first base side. Correction, third base side. Count 0-1. There's a runner on first. Rockers would have an opportunity for a double play here. Not a whole lot of speed. This one lined just past the dive of Jerry Downs into right field. And only advancing 1 base is Shaver on the single from Kelly Dugan. So once again, a couple of base hits coming for the Barnstormers. That'll bring up Mark Zagunis now. Second inning, a little bit of trouble for Nicolino. And here again in the 4th. He went 1, 2, 3 in the odd-numbered innings. He's having to deal with base runners in the evens. Here comes the first pitch of this at-bat. Off speed, at the knees, it's a strike. And they count 0-1. Rockers still have an opportunity to get the double play. And they've set the infield up accordingly up the middle. Here comes the 0-1. Fastball at the knees, just a bit outside, though, a ball and a strike. We'll see how long Gastonia is able to keep it up, but so far they look very impressive in the South Division. They were tied, or are tied, with Charleston for first place in the South Division. Rockers just a game behind. Here comes the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Check that. That was 1-1. Now it's 1-2. Runners take their leads off of first and second. Nicolino comes set, and here comes the 1-2 to Zagunis. Fastball, swing and a miss. There it is, strike 3. And Justin Nicolino with his 5th strikeout of the game, 3 looking and 2 swinging, and that'll bring up Andretti Cordero. Now the entire playing surface is in shadow. A little bit of sunlight still on the center field wall, and the entire batting eye is bathed in sunlight. But we're getting to the point of the sunset now where it's not really a factor for being able to see. That pitch down and in. Looks like he crossed up Chris Proctor. Proctor went down into a blocking position, but the ball never went down to the ground. And I think they were just trying to get on the same page now as Proctor goes out to talk. Didn't look like a bad pitch from Nicolino. Shaver is at second. Dugan is at first. The Rockers lead 4-0 in the top of the 4th inning. While they're stopped, we'll check back in on the pitch count for Nicolino. The next pitch will be 59. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Barnstormers. 4 runs on 5 hits and no errors for the Rockers, who are the best defensive team in the Atlantic League through 5 games. Here comes the pitch, fastball, fouled back to the screen, and the count 1-1. Bottom of the 4th inning, the Rockers will have 6, 7, and 8 in the lineup coming up. They're already 2 hits away from the same hit total of the last 2 days, 7. They won both of those games, too. The 1-1 to Cordero. Fastball, that's hit in the air to right. Jay Gonzalez racing back, looking up, and makes the catch on the run in front of the Simon Jewelers sign in right center field. And that will do it for the Barnstormers in the fourth. They get a couple of guys aboard, but Justin Nicolino's able to wriggle out of it again. And we'll go to the bottom of the fourth inning. Rockers lead it 4-0 on the Rockers Baseball Network. Bottom of inning number 4. The Rockers on top 4-0. Dominic DiSabatino back out there for the Barnstormers. DiSabatino has thrown 52 pitches through 3 innings. Justin Nicolino has thrown 60 through 4. DiSabatino will be facing Aklinski, Ladendorf, and Proctor. Chris Proctor singled and scored his first time up. And for the Rockers, looking to take yet another series against the Lancaster Barnstormers, the team that, for some reason or another, the Rockers have just always found success against. Dominated them in 2019, another winning record against them last year. And they only play 9 times this year. 8 more after last night, 7 more after tonight. Here comes the first pitch to Aklinski, and that's going to hit him. And that is, if memory serves me correctly, the 4th hit by pitch for Aklinski this year. The joke last year was that Jerry Downs was the magnet. I think he may have passed that off in the offseason. It's been Aklinski now. 4 hit by pitches through the team's first 6 games. There's Tyler Ladendorf. Aklinski has 1 stolen base already this year. Not going on the first pitch. It's a strike, and the count is 0-1. The Rockers as a team four stolen bases in 6 attempts. Here comes the 0-1 to Ladendorf, standing in the back of the right-handed box. Just gets that one off the end of the bat, and the count 0-2. The good thing about the bottom of this Rockers lineup is the production that you get from them. And you roll back to the top with Field and Russell, it's really like there's not a bottom of the lineup. Everybody's doing their job, and the conveyor belt goes on, next man up. The 0-2 to Ladendorf hits this one off the end of the bat, right back to the mound. DiSabatino throws to first in time, and the struggles for Ladendorf continues. That goes 1-3, and Aklinski will head to second, and that'll bring up Proctor. Proctor and Gonzalez both notched hits in their first at-bats. Rockers came into today with the 6th best on-base percentage in the Atlantic League. and they were 8th in home runs, but they've added 2 to that tally in the first 3+ innings. DiSabatino steps off. And Shaver looks at the card in his back pocket and making sure that he's on the same page as far as what signals to put down and what DiSabatino wants to throw. Aklinski, the runner at second base, with 1 out here in the 4th. Here comes the first pitch to Proctor. Swings late on the fastball, and the count 0-1. Well, after a cloudy day yesterday, no such issues on this one. Wind blowing out towards right center field. Although there's been times today where it's been dead as a doornail as that pitch misses outside, 1-1 to Proctor. It's been blowing out heavily to right, or it's been doing nothing at all. Not the normal blowing out to left, which you would expect to see. Although it feels like every time a weather system comes through like it did yesterday, things are just kind of out of whack for the next day or so. 1-1 coming to Proctor. Jams him, and he bloops it down the left field side. This could be trouble. It's going to drop for a base hit. They're waving Aklinski around. He's going to score on an RBI double from Chris Proctor. A blooper down the left field line that just fell in the middle of no man's land. Chris Proctor has his first Rockers RBI, and it is a 5-0 game. Going to bring up Jay Gonzalez now. He's got a double and a run scored. The Rockers continue at a runner in scoring position. Top of the lineup coming up next in Johnny Field. No action in the bullpen other than some general stirring for the Barnstormers. That pitch way up and away from DiSabatino, 1-0. He's now allowed 5 runs in this start. All of them have been earned. Here comes the 1-0 to Gonzalez. Fouls it off, and the count 1-1. The Rockers high in hits this year, 11 on opening day. They've got 6 today. Here comes the 1-1. Gonzalez again out in front of it, spoils it. The pitch was outside and he lunged at it, so it went down the third base side. The count 1-2. Proctor takes his lead off of second. The shortstop, Hoover, back behind him as Gonzalez again sprays it foul, third base side out of play. High Point getting contributions up and down the lineup. 6 of the 8 players have reached base today. Only Russell, Morrison, and Ladendorf have not. Another 1-2 coming to Gonzalez, way outside, and it's an easy take, and the count 2-2. DiSabatino is now approaching the 65 pitch mark here in the bottom of the 4th. Here comes a 1-2. Gonzalez hits this one up the middle. Hoover scoops it up behind second base. The play to first is in time. Albert Gonzalez waving safe, and now Jamie Keefe is going to go talk to Calvin Baker. Chris Proctor goes to third. That goes 6-3. I thought he was out just by a little bit. Jamie Keefe is going to have a quick talk with Calvin Baker. I thought he made the correct call. But it was a very close play over there at first base, and that'll bring up Johnny Field. Big swing and a miss from Johnny Field. And the count 0-1. Chris Proctor, the runner at third base. The Rockers have already added 1 run here in the 4th inning. They lead at 5-0. A 2-out base hit from Field would score Proctor. Takes a fastball outside, and the count 1-1. Good day to be a North Carolina team. The Gastonia Honey Hunters winning big, although Kentucky's starting to chip away. It's now 8-3 in that one. Field takes, there's a strike on the outside corner, count 1-2. Julio Teheran has now gotten through the 3rd inning without giving up a base hit in the Staten Island Southern Maryland game. It's the Blue Crabs home opener. That one just down low. Johnny Field took a step towards the dugout. He thought it was strike 3. But it's not called by Ruben Ramirez. Johnny Field just might have caught a little bit of a break there, as there's a right-hander up in the bullpen now for the Barnstormers. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Chris Proctor meandering off of third. Here comes the 2-2. That's down low. An easy take for Field, and the count goes full. Michael Russell waiting in the on-deck circle. Last year's Atlantic League batting champion. Still trying to get on track this year. Payoff pitch coming to Field, and he swings and ropes one foul towards the Lancaster bullpen. And so he'll stay alive at least for one more pitch. Field 1 for 2 today with a 2-run double, so he's got 3 RBIs on the year. And he's hitting 3 for 18. Had a slow start offensively last year, was 1 for his first 10 before his first breakout game. Ended up hitting 283, a couple of walk-offs, and some great plays in the field. The 3-2 is outside, ball 4. And the 4th inning extends, and that'll bring up Michael Russell, who's 0 for 2. That right-hander in the bullpen for the Barnstormers working rapidly. As Colton Shavers is going to go out and give the signs for the Lancaster infield. We'll see if the Rockers want to run with Johnny Field. Against Gastonia on opening weekend, the Barnstormers allowed 10 out of 12 base stealers to steal successfully. Rockers 1 out of 1 yesterday. Check over to Johnny Field, and clearly the Barnstormers have the exact same thought. They have been picked on by base runners. And here comes the first pitch to Russell. Holds up, but it's a strike at the top of the zone. And the count 0-1. Here comes the 0-1. That one just outside. Shaver tries to get the frame and the call from home plate umpire Ruben Ramirez, but does not get it. So the count 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 run already in the 4th inning. Rockers looking for a little bit more before we head to the 5th. Just a base hit from Russell would do it. Here comes the pitch and a chopper towards third base. Lair charging in on it. Here comes the throw, and it will beat Russell by a step. And that's the final out of the inning. 1 run comes in on the RBI double from Chris Proctor, and the Rockers take a 5-0 lead into inning number 5. The Rockers Baseball Network.
Also would like to wish a very happy 10th birthday to Riley Isaacs. Happy birthday, Emily and Riley. Fans, be sure to get your tickets for the Guido and Mariana Cobain Children's Museum. Opening April 30th, that's this coming Saturday. You won't want to miss the fun and excitement at the museum, the happiest place in High Point.
Top of the 5th inning, Justin Nicolino with a comfortable 5-run lead that he's working with right now, as he has put up a bunch of zeros against the Barnstormers, and he'll face the bottom 2 in the lineup, Clark and Hoover, and then we go back around to the top and Mercedes.
Top 5 leading off from Lancaster, Ladarius Clark.
How Gastonia, they are now up 11-3 against the Genomes. They beat the Rockers in a couple of low-scoring close games in the exhibition schedule, but when opening day rolled around, the Honey Hunters have turned it on during this home stretch. First pitch fastball from Nicolino, a strike, and the count 0-1. And the Rockers won't face the Honey Hunters for another month plus. Perhaps it'll give them some time to cool off. The 0-1 off-speed, slow looper from Nicolino doesn't get the call. Rockers host Gastonia June 3rd, 4th, and 5th. They head to Caramont Health Park on the 10th. Here comes the 1-1. Clark sprays it right field. Without having the sun to deal with anymore, that's an easy play for Jay Gonzalez, and that is the first out of the 5th inning. Jake Hoover, 0 for 1 today, 0 for 8 on the season. Justin Nicolino delivers his first pitch of the at-bat, fastball strike. He's just at 64 pitches right now. Should be able to get through 6. Potentially they could give him a 7th. Here comes the 0-1. That's a swing and a miss on the fastball, and the count 0-2. Nicolino 1 strikeout away from tying the season high held by himself and 3 other starters. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. There it is, strike 3. Nicolino's 6th of the day. First 3 were looking. Next 3 have been swinging. And we'll go back around to the top of the lineup. Melvin Mercedes, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Rockers lefty comes set. And the first pitch, curveball, just missing. Not a bad pitch at all on the count 1-0. Tomorrow, Cooper Casad getting the ball against Augie Silk. Had a great pregame interview with Cooper Casad a couple of days ago, and we'll be replaying that one tomorrow. That one popped up foul, first base side out of play in the count 1-1. Really appreciate the meticulousness of Cooper Casad's answers, the way that he analyzes his pitches, he analyzes his mechanics. Just a very well-thought young man, and he thinks through everything he does on the mound, both during and after. That pitch low in the count 2-1. There was an interesting comment that Frank Viola made in yesterday's pregame show. First, the 2-1. Fastball hit on the ground towards second. Russell, an easy play, throws on to first in time for the final out in a 1-2-3 fifth for Nicolino. But to finish that thought really quickly, Frank Viola said, while he does believe you can think too much, he said Cooper Casad can think a lot and still be okay. And he's in a great spot right now, as is Justin Nicolino and the Rockers. We're halfway home, and the Rockers lead at 5-0 on the Rockers Baseball Network.
This call of the bullpen is sponsored by Cricket Wireless, working hard to keep you connected and safe with your cricket service today.
Well, we go to the bottom of the fifth. The Barnstormers will go to the bullpen. It's the end of the day for Dominic DiSabatino, the new man on the mound, number 15, Ben Wenger. DiSabatino's day, a short one, and a day perhaps did not go as well as he wanted it to go. 4 innings, gave up 6 hits, 5 runs, all of which were earned. Struck out 3, walked 1, and allowed 2 home runs. And he is in line to take the loss, which would drop him to 0-2 on the year. Wenger will be facing 3, 4, and 5. That's Downs, Morrison, and Wheel. Jerry Downs today, 1 for 2, a solo home run. Jerry Downs, 2 home runs this week. While the batting average is not quite there yet, the power stroke certainly seems to be getting close to it. As that pitch down low in the count 1-0. Just a quick update. In the bottom of the 4th inning, the leadoff man for the Blue Crabs reaches base via a base hit, the first hit allowed by Julio Teheran today. Fastball high upstairs, the count 2-0 to Downs. If I remember correctly last year, there was never anybody that went particularly deep into a game as far as having a chance for a no-hitter goes. I think Bryce Hensley made it into the 6th one time, and I believe Ricky Knapp made it to a midway stage in the game, and perhaps Cooper Casad down swings, ropes this one down the right field side. Is it fair? No, he's going to call it foul. Jerry Downs thinks it's a home run. Calvin Baker has called it foul. Jerry Downs thinks that it's a home run. He thinks it's fair, and here comes Jamie Keefe to talk. Jerry Downs has not missed a 2-home run game by much, and Jamie Keefe doesn't even get all the way to Calvin Baker before Calvin says something to send Jamie back to the third base box. Looking on a replay here, it does look foul from the angle that we've got. Now, where we sit here in the press box also is not a great place to tell where that ball ends up or where it goes out, but it is a long strike, and that pitch down low now to Downs, and the count 3-1. Couple of power hitting lefties here. Here comes the 3-1 off speed, low ball 4. And Jerry Downs, instead of a leadoff home run, it's a leadoff walk. That'll bring up Logan Morrison. Now Calvin Baker and Jerry Downs talking it out over there at first base. Calvin's laughing, so whatever it is, everything's being said in good spirits over there. Here's Logan Morrison 0 for 2. Fastball inside. And the count 1-0. Logan Morrison would love to add his name to the home run list this year. Hit 3 in 9 games for High Point last year before the Reds took a flyer on him. That pitch down and in 2-0. It worked out well for Cincinnati for at least as long as Morrison was healthy. They sent him to AAA Louisville. And remember, this was coming at about the time where Joey Votto went down with an injury last year. So they needed some insurance. As Morrison down the right field line, this is a fair ball, and it's going to kick around in the corner. Jerry Downs is being windmilled home from Jamie Keefe. Morrison pulls into second. Here comes the throw home. It's close. It's not in time. Jerry Downs gets in under the tag of Shaver, and the Rockers lead it 6-0. Here comes Ross Peoples to talk now with the umpire Calvin Baker. It was a close play at home. Jerry Downs eventually, though, slides under the tag. The throw beat him. The throw absolutely beat Jerry Downs, but it was a nice slide towards the Lancaster dugout. And that allowed Jerry Downs to score the run. The Rockers now lead it 6-0. Ross Peoples has a long talk with Calvin Baker, but nothing comes of it. And it's an RBI double for Morrison. And Jerry Downs scores from first base. Well, the Rockers' offense is finally starting to come around, and come around in a big way tonight. They have. Here's Xander Wheel, a home run. An inside the park home run, to be exact. And the first pitch to Wheel, a curveball. It's a strike, and the count 0-1. Well, with Logan Morrison's double, now Russell and Ladendorf, the only two Rockers to not reach base today. How about Jerry Downs scoring twice so far? Here comes the 1-0. Wheel swings, fly ball into right field. Zagunis going back on the track, and he'll make the catch. Xander Wheel just about had another one. This one, though, deep enough to move Logan Morrison over to third. That's the first out of the inning. And with Ben Aklinski coming up, the Rockers have a golden opportunity to put yet another tally on the scoreboard. It's 6-0 right now. And Aklinski, who's 0 for 1 today, but has also been hit by a pitch and scored. Fastball, that misses outside, 1-0. Aklinski, 4 runs batted in on the year. That is the second best mark on the team. Tied for second best. One behind Xander Wheel. Check swing, he went around too far. It's a strike, and the count 1-1. If he's able to get in Morrison here, they would be the top 2. Tillman Pugh of the Lexington Legends leads the Atlantic League, 9 runs batted in at this portion of the season. Here's the 1-1, a fastball. It's a strike at the knees, and the count is 1-2 now to Aklinski. I just kind of glance up from my notes for a moment. I just see Hype all the way out over the left field seats, taking a walk out there. Even a mascot has to get their steps in. Here's the 1-2, slider outside. And the count 2-2 to Aklinski now. Here comes the pitch, and Aklinski fouls it off. Count stays 2-2. I don't think I finished what I was saying about Logan Morrison before he hit that double down the line. Cincinnati goes for him once Joey Votto goes down with an injury last year. They need some insurance at first base. Logan Morrison goes to AAA Louisville, and until suffering a season-ending knee injury, was hitting .346 for the Bats. Aklinski on the ground towards short, knocked down by Hoover. There is no throw, but Logan Morrison also stays at third. That'll be an infield base hit for Aklinski, and the Rockers will have runners at the corners. That was hit in the hole in between third and short. Hoover knocked it down, but wasn't able to get up and make the throw. So with runners at the corners, brings up Tyler Ladendorf. That is the 8th hit today for the Rockers. Just 3 away from their season high they set on opening night. Here comes the pitch to Ladendorf, down and away. And the count 1-0. Tyler's trying to break out of his slide that he's been in since opening night. It was a good return to High Point on Thursday for Ladendorf, who hadn't played in a regular season game since the end of 2019 for the Rockers. Swing and a miss there. And the count 1-1. Here comes the pitch. Ladendorf pops it up, and it will hit the net. Count 1-2 now. Following Ladendorf will be Chris Proctor. He's had himself a nice day, 2 for 2 with an RBI double. For the defensive-minded Proctor, the guy who at least is labeled as a glove-first catcher, and for good reason. He's one of the best there is. Morrison, the runner at third base. Aklinski, the runner at first. Ladendorf looking to add to this 6-0 lead. Here comes the 1-2. Off speed, hits this one in the air into left center field. Feliz and Clark going back. That one's going to one-hop the wall. Morrison will score easily. They're waving around Aklinski. He will score easily. Ladendorf heads to third, and it is a 2-run triple for Tyler Ladendorf. And the Rockers now lead 8-0. That's Tyler's first hit since opening day. And it was hit very well into the left center field gap. Rockers cruising today, 8-0 your score. We'll see if the Barnstormers get somebody up. Yes, there is action in the Barnstormers bullpen now. And still just one out in the inning, so it's a golden opportunity for Ladendorf to come in and score if Proctor or Gonzalez is able to get him home. Proctor 2 for 2 today. Rockers 8 runs on 9 hits. Both of these numbers are the second best total in their respective categories on this young season through 6 games. It is hard to say at this point in the year whether there is a quote-unquote starting catcher, as each catcher has started 3 games, but in the platoon situation between Proctor and Galeno, it has worked very well. Both of them hitting well. Just got a note from our Director of Communications, Steve Schutt, with that triple that Ladendorf hit, which is the first triple a Rockers player has hit this year. The team has hit for the cycle for the first time in 2022 as Proctor takes a strike. And the count 1-1. First home run came from Jerry Downs in the first inning. Proctor chases the high fastball 1-2. The first single came from Proctor in the second. The first double came from Gonzalez in the second. And now Ladendorf's triple here in the 5th. If it wasn't for the home run being out of order, they had a natural cycle going in place too. It had it coming in order. Popped up, foul territory, third base side, giving it a look as Lair, but it'll hit about, we'll say 4 or 5 rows in the seats. Just a reminder, the Rockers still looking for partners for their 2022 radio broadcast. If you or your business are interested in becoming a partner for the 2022 season, you can email us at info@highpointrockers.com to find out how. A ball and 2 strikes to Proctor. That's down in the dirt. Good block by Shaver. It's going to keep Ladendorf at third. And the count 2-2 now to the Rockers' backstop. High Point 1 run in the first, 3 in the second, none in the third, 1 in the fourth, 3 in the fifth. Lancaster, 5 zeros next to their name. Here comes the 2-2. Proctor fouls it off of his front leg, and the count stays 2-2. Good at-bat here from Chris Proctor. Next pitch will be number 7. We've seen longer at-bats, but when you get down 2 strikes early and you're able to battle back and extend as well as draw out the pitch count, that's a successful trip up. Here comes the pitch. He swings, hits this one in the air into right field. Zagunis coming in. He'll make the catch. Ladendorf is heading home. Here comes the throw. It is late. Ladendorf scores. And it is now a 9-0 game on the sacrifice fly from Chris Proctor. Not a hit for Proctor, but he's got a 2 RBI night now. So that'll bring up Jay Gonzalez, who is 1 for 2. He doubled and scored back in the second inning. The 4 runs scored for High Point here, the second highest total in a single inning on the year after scoring 6 runs in the 6th inning on opening day as Gonzalez takes a strike. Oh, 1, that's down in the dirt, blocked up again by Shaver. He's been busy today. A lot of pitches have gone low. We've seen Colton Shaver have to drop to his knees on more than one occasion to keep a baseball from going back to the backstop. Here comes the pitch. Fastball fouled off. Third base side. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Top of the lineup is in the on-deck circle. Gonzalez swings, lines it into left field, and another base hit. The Rockers have 10 today. This inning continues. Here's Johnny Field, the 8th man to come up. Field has a 2-run double today. The Rockers continue to pour it on. And I think this is going to be the end of the day for Ben Wanger. It will. There's also going to be some changes made defensively as heading out to right field. That's going to be Devon Torrance. We'll see what other changes come with that and whether or not Mark Zagunis is done for the day or they're just moving him around. The Barnstormers will go to the bullpen, and we'll get all of the player movements sorted out while we step aside. The Rockers still up to bat in the bottom of the 5th inning. They lead 9-0.
Now pitching for Lancaster, right-handed, time of the fourth.
The Barnstormers go to the bullpen in the 5th inning. Tyler Laporte in for his 2nd inning of work on the year, or 2nd outing, I should say. 1 inning of work so far. It was a clean inning with no other stats to register. It was a 1-2-3 inning, no walks, no strikeouts. And Laporte will be facing Johnny Field here in the bottom of the 5th. Rockers have already put 4 runs across this inning. They still have an opportunity for more. A runner on first base with 2 outs in the inning for Johnny Field. We'll give you the line on Ben Wanger here once we can close it, but we cannot do so yet as he's responsible for the man at first. This has been a long time sitting in the Rockers dugout for Justin Nicolino, though. Here comes the first pitch to Field. Fastball, swing, and a miss. A little uptick in velocity from one reliever to this one. Laporte comes set, and here comes the pitch. The field pops up, foul territory, first base side. Laporte racing over, as is the first baseman, Cordero, and it's Cordero that's going to make the catch for the final out of the inning. But the Rockers put 4 runs across in the 5th, and they take a 9-0 lead into the 6th inning on the Rockers Baseball Network. Top of the 6th inning, Justin Nicolino is on cruise control now. Rockers on top 9-0. Nicolino will be facing 2, 3, and 4 here in the 6th. His pitch count sitting at 70. Frank Viola said that his goal was to have all his starters go 6. We'll see if potentially Nicolino could start the 7th if he has a quick inning here. He'll be facing, 2, 3, and 4, Lair, Feliz, and Shaver. As the Rockers are seemingly well on their way to what would be their 14th win in 16 games at home against the Barnstormers. Trace Lair today over 2, has struck out looking both times. And Nicolino delivers first pitch fastball. There's strike 1. With his next strikeout, Justin Nicolino would have the most strikeouts by a Rockers pitcher in a single game this year. The lefty set at the belt. Curveball drops in, and that's a strike. Count 0-2. Here comes the 0-2. Fastball. This is down and away. Good scoop from Proctor in the count 1-2. Defensively there, the only change that we caught, Devon Torrance is in now in right field for Mark Zagunis. Zagunis is done. I wonder if that hit by pitch earlier was still bothering him a little bit. He was hit on the ankle. Here's the 1-2. Fastball doesn't get the call in the inside corner, and the count moves to 2-2. Rockers infield expecting Lair to pull. He fouls this one down the third base line. It was close. The ball started on the outside of in foul territory, and then as it neared the third baseline, started to curl back in, but it did go wide of the bag. And the count remains 2-2. Have you ever seen those trick pool shots? That was kind of what that one reminded me of. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nicolino looking for the put-away pitch here on Lair. Here it comes. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That is the 7th strikeout tonight for Justin Nicolino, a new Rockers season high, breaking what was a 5-way tie between Nicolino twice, Cooper Casad, Brady Lale, and Jason Manzueta. So here's Anderson Feliz 0 for 2. And the first pitch coming. Fastball. Feliz thought about swinging, did not. Doesn't matter because it was called strike 1. Nicolino comes set. Here comes the 0-1. That one's going to miss just outside. And the count 1 ball, 1 strike now. Well, the big difference today has been what have you done with runners in scoring position. That one hit foul, third base side, count 1-2. The Barnstormers 0 for 4. The Rockers 4 for 8. Coming into today, both teams had identical batting averages with runners in scoring position at .235. The difference was the Rockers' on-base percentage in those situations, .328, while the Barnstormers, .263. Timeout called at the plate, and so we will pause here just for a moment before the 1-2 is delivered. Pitch number 80 for Justin Nicolino. is a fastball, strike 3. That's the 8th strikeout today for Nicolino, and that'll bring up Colton Shaver now. Because he's hit the 80 mark, this may be his last inning. 6 shutout innings if it holds. 8 strikeouts for Nicolino. Colton Shaver 1 for 2 today. And here comes the first pitch. Way outside, ball 1. Nicolino has scattered just 3 hits on the night, while the Rockers have propelled their way forward 9 runs thanks to 10 hits. And here comes the 1-0. Fastball outside again, and the count 2-0. Well, we said in the pregame show, Justin Nicolino, although he did not pitch badly on opening day, was certainly looking to rebound from perhaps a start that was a little less than what he was expecting it to be. Well, he has done that and more today. So the Rockers will only improve upon their league best ERA amongst starting pitchers. That pitch in there for a strike. And the count 2-1. We'll tell you what that number is at the end of this inning. I'm hoping that he's able to put a 6th shutout inning up, and it'll make math easy. Here comes the 2-1 to Shaver. That's a fastball away in the count 3-1. Nobody up in the High Point bullpen, so this should be his inning to finish. He's not allowed a walk today. He's hit 1. But otherwise, given up 2 hits to Dugan and 1 to the man at the plate, Shaver. Here comes a 3-1. Fastball fouled right back to the net. And the count goes full, and it comes right back on the rebound to Proctor. Backhands it and throws it back to Nicolino. Nobody in the bullpen for the Barnstormers, so Tyler Laporte will come back for the bottom of the 6th. Pitch number 86 of Nicolino's night coming up here on the 3-2. The lefty fires fastball, and it's fouled straight back again off of the bat of Colton Shaver. Little different not seeing Anderson De La Rosa behind the plate for these Barnstormers. Anthony Perrone still listed as the backup catcher. We saw him last year as the backup to De La Rosa. Here comes the 3-2 curveball, and that's fouled down the left field side. And the count remains 3-2. Next pitch coming is number 87. It's also pitch number 7 of the at-bat. Here comes another 3-2, and again spoiled foul. Well, as the pitch count continues to encroach upon 90, pretty safe to say this will be it for Nicolino, but 6 really good innings, and it's allowed Jamie Keefe and company to shorten the game with the bullpen. Here comes another 3-2 and another pop-up foul. Next pitch will be the 9th of the at-bat. 4 consecutive fouls. Next pitch will be the 10th of the at-bat. Here comes another 3-2. This one's hit on the ground to second. Michael Russell throws on to first, and it is 6 shutout innings for Justin Nicolino. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Rockers cruising 9-0 on the Rockers Baseball Network. As expected, Tyler Laporte back out for the bottom of the 6th inning. He'll be facing 2, 3, and 4 from Michael Russell, Jerry Downs, and Logan Morrison. Rockers lead at 9-0 in the bottom of the 6th. Rockers scored 1 in the 1st, 3 in the 2nd, 1 in the 4th, 4 in the 5th. Nobody in the High Point bullpen yet. Some guys stretching, and there is a catcher down there in full equipment, but nobody is currently throwing. So we'll see what that means for Justin Nicolino. Usually they won't have a guy starting the first batter of the inning. Nicolino is at 90 pitches on the dot. Here's Michael Russell, the only Rocker to not reach base today. Takes a fastball from Laporte, strike 1. You look at the guys that have been able to score, a lot of the production coming from the middle and bottom portions of the lineup today. 2 runs from Downs, 2 runs from McClinsky. 0-1 slider, that's down and away, and the count 1-1. Only 2 Rockers that haven't scored today are the top 2 in the lineup. Here comes a 1-1 from Laporte, and that's going to hit Russell. And now every Rocker has reached base. That is something we've seen a lot of hit by pitches in the early portion of this year. Second time a Rocker's been hit today. Here's Jerry Downs. Jerry today 1 for 2. Has also walked. That one a solo home run. And so he's got 2 runs scored. Now there's somebody up in the bullpen for High Point. Here comes the pitch. First pitch to Downs. Fastball low. And the count 1-0. Laporte took a little too long for Jerry Downs' liking. Now we're about ready to go again. Here comes the 1-0. Big swing and a miss from Downs, and the count 1-1. How about Justin Nicolino? Hit 1 batter today, but did not walk anyone. That's incredibly impressive. As he's in line to pick up his first win. Downs bounces this one to Mercedes at second. Should be 2. Hoover for 1. On to first in time. That is a 4-6-3 double play. And that'll bring up Logan Morrison with the bases empty now. Looking down into the bullpen, trying to see who that is. I want to say, I believe that's one of the new Rockers, number 35. Yes, that is Max McDowell, one of the newcomers that we'll tell you a little bit about when he gets into the ball game. Gives Jamie Keefe an opportunity to rest some of the guys in the back of his bullpen who threw yesterday. That pitch, ball one, gets away from Shaver. Logan Morrison had no thoughts about running to first there in the count 1-0. Morrison today an RBI double his last time up. Rockers still 9 runs on 10 hits. And here comes the pitch from Laporte. It's a fastball and it's a strike. Well, as much as it's been a frustrating start to the year for Michael Russell, as he is not seeing the batting average go in the direction he wants to see it go in, one thing that he can take a little solace in, first the 1-1 to Morrison, fouls it off left field side, and the count 1-2, is the fact that he has reached base in all 6 games. Flags hanging limp in left center field at the moment. And right as I say that, they start to flutter just a little bit. Morrison on top of this one hits a chopper back towards second, but it's intercepted by the pitcher Laporte, and he'll make the easy play onto first, and that's the final out of the 6th inning. We head to the 7th. The Rockers on top 9-0 on the Rockers Baseball Network.
Alright guys, tonight's trivia question is brought to you by Atrium Health. Stay with me is huge High Point Rockers fans. How well do you know your rockers? Which rocker has these songs on their playlist? Do you think the answer is Xander or Tyler? We're waiting to see. We're waiting to see what the songs are.
So the Rockers do, in fact, head to the bullpen in the top of the 7th. It's Tanner Duncan making his 2nd appearance of the year. Duncan pitching at the end of last week. 1 inning, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. They'll be facing 5, 6, and 7 in the Lancaster lineup. That's Kelly Dugan and Devon Torrance and Andretti Cordero. Rockers lead at 9-0. Tomorrow's starting matchup, again, Cooper Cassad and Augie Silk. Cooper, a tough no decision on his first outing of the year. Went 6 innings, allowing just a single run in a game the Rockers were not able to win. So Cooper looking to get in the win column this year. Right now, Justin Nicolino is in good shape to do that. We talked a little bit ago about the Rockers' ERA as a starting staff. They have now given up 6 earned runs in 33 innings of work, which comes out to a 1.64 earned run average through 6 starts. And the thing that makes that so nutty is the fact that it's literally everybody contributing to that. The first time through, you could look at Nicolino's start and go, okay, everybody else kind of offset his a little bit. But with his 6 shutout innings tonight, you are literally getting that contribution from 1 through 5 in the rotation. First pitch to Kelly Dugan here in the top of the 7th from Tanner Duncan is a fastball that's fouled off, and the count 0-1. Kelly Dugan owns 2 of the 3 Barnstormer hits today, a double and a single. Devon Torrance in the on-deck circle. He came in defensively when when Ben Wanger was taken out for Laporte. Here comes the 0-1. And the righty Duncan fires a fastball, hit right down the first base line to Jerry Downs, who says, I'll take it. And that's the first out of the 7th inning. We can close the book on Ben Wanger. We can now. 2/3 of an inning pitched. Gave up 4 runs, all earned on 4 hits and a walk. Tyler Laporte came in and did not give up an inherited run. He's pitched an inning and a third, and his day most likely over as there's a right-hander throwing in the bullpen for the Barnstormers now. So here's Devon Torrance, his first at-bat of the evening. And it's a high fastball from Duncan, ball 1. Devon Torrance on the year, hitting just 1 for 8. The 1 was a double. 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Again, this is a Barnstormer team that doesn't run a whole lot. Only 1 stolen base attempt. Torrance, a guy who could do it, could run, but has not much this year. That pitch a strike, and the count 1-1. The only stolen base attempt this year for the Barnstormers, it was a catcher, Anthony Perrone. The 1-1, fastball at the knees, it's a strike, and the count 1-2. As a pitching staff on opening day, the Rockers struck out 16. Justin Nicolino got 8 all by himself here today through 6 innings of work. Here comes the 1-2. A weak foul. Very defensive swing from Torrance, who stays alive as the count remains 1-2. A ball and 2 strikes. And Duncan holds the set. Here comes that 1-2. It's a fastball once again fouled off. And the count remains 1-2. Again, the one thing that we have seen in the early portion of the year, a lot of 2-strike counts in which pitchers are not able to immediately put the batter away. And that has become the case again tonight. A couple of elongated at-bats from Jason Manzueta, or against Manzueta yesterday. We saw a few from Nicolino today as well, as Torrance pops this one into shallow left center field. Going out is Ladendorf calling for it, and he'll make the catch. That's the second out of the inning. Brings up Andretti Cordero, 0 for 2. 2 flyouts to right field. Cordero came into today as the best hitter on this Barnstormers team. Still is, batting average at .333. The next highest amongst today's starters is Kelly Dugan at .286. They seem to drop some 35-odd points today. First pitch, fastball from Duncan, misses just outside, and the count 1-0. Tanner works the third base side of the rubber. Here comes the 1-0. And that's a swing and a miss on a pitch with some nice down and out movement. And the count 1-1. The 1-1 coming here. Duncan fires the fastball right past Cordero at the knees, count 1-2. Andretti Cordero began his career professionally, signed by the Rangers in 2014. Started to find double-digit power during the end of his affiliated stay. 10 home runs in 2018, 16 home runs in 2019. He hit 16 and drove in 82 for Frisco. Last year played with Evansville in the Frontier League. A ball and 2 strikes. Duncan takes something off of it, tried to get him to chase, and just about succeeded. But Cordero is able to lay off in the count 2-2. At the top of the 8th inning, we'll take another look at the Atlantic League scoreboard report. I'll go ahead and tell you Gastonia cruising once again over the Genomes. Here comes a 2-2. Fastball outside, and the count goes full. Well, the one thing you can tell from Tanner Duncan, he has got a live arm. A lot of really, really quality pitches coming from the righty. Payoff pitch coming here. It's a high fastball. It's popped up. And it'll go out of play first base side, and the count remains 3-2. Cordero checking his bat to make sure it's all still in one piece, and he's seen enough to convince him that it is. Duncan holds the set, takes a big deep breath. Here's the 3-2. It's a fastball hit on the ground towards third. Wheel has to back up and then just snags it. Here's the throw on a hop, scooped by Jerry Downs, because of course it is. Jerry Downs doing what he does. Xander Wheel making a nifty play over there at third base as well. And that's 7 shutout innings tossed by Rockers pitching tonight. It's stretch time at Truist Point. The Rockers lead it 9-0 on the Rockers Baseball Network. Bottom of the 7th inning, and the Barnstormers will head back to the bullpen. Tyler Laporte goes an inning and a third, does not give up any runs, hits or walks, does hit one batter. Hunter Spear coming in as the next man out of the bullpen. Hunter Spear on the year, making his second appearance. Gave up 1 run in 1 inning of work so far, walked 2 and struck out 3. Spear will be facing the 5, 6, and 7 part of the Rockers lineup. That is Wheel, Aklinski, and Ladendorf. I'll tell you a little bit more about Hunter Spear. He was born in New Orleans in 1995, signed by the Dodgers in the 25th after they drafted him in the 25th round in 2018. Has spent his entire career as a relief pitcher. Career minor league numbers of 5-4, 6.04 ERA, and He owns 8 career saves. His brother Stone pitched a couple years in the Tampa Bay organization, 2013-2014. Rockers have action in the bullpen. We'll tell you who that is here in just a moment. First off, though, Xander Wheel. Xander 1 for 3 with the inside the park home run. Takes a fastball up and in. In the bullpen now for High Point, it is a right-hander. Not entirely sure who that is yet. We'll let you know. It's hard to see from up here, but Wheel slices this one foul left field side, and the count 1-1. Looks like 35 again, Max McDowell, who had gotten up to throw for a few minutes before Tanner Duncan got up to throw. Here comes the 1-1. That's down and away in the count 2-1. If, in fact, it is Max McDowell coming in to throw, Jamie Keefe having a chance to rest some of his regulars in the back of the bullpen. Remember, Ryan Dull pitched a lot yesterday. His one inning of work took the neighborhood of 30 pitches. Then Jonathan Crawford and Jason Bradford also appeared in yesterday's game. Here's the 2-1 up and into Wheel again, and the count 3-1. Rockers 1 run short of matching their season high. Barnstormers have struggled to a league worst earned run average amongst starting pitching. Their overall pitching coming into today, just 8th out of 10, so not much better. There's a swing and a miss from Wheel there, and the count goes to 3-2. Most runs the Barnstormers have given up this year, 13 against Gastonia back on Saturday. Actually, it was Saturday, the 24th. Payoff pitch coming to Wheel. It's outside, ball 4. And the leadoff man aboard for High Point. That'll bring up Ben Aklinski. 1 for 2 today, has also been hit by a pitch and has scored twice. And the Rockers, a couple innings away from what would be their first shutout of 2022. First pitch up and in to Aklinski. It's a late called strike. I don't know that Aklinski's realized it yet. I guess he has. He had to get out of the way of that one. They count 0-1. First shutout the Rockers recorded last year came on the 27th of June, the curveball inside to Aklinski, and the count 1-1. That was a 6-0 win against the Lexington Legends. And in fact, that ended up being the only shutout the Rockers had last year. They were shut out themselves twice. 1-1 to Aklinski, fastball down low, good scoop there from Shaver, and the count 2-1. You just kind of get the sense from not only looking throughout the Atlantic League, but just the way these games have gone here at Truist Point, after what just seemed to be an anomaly for multiple reasons last year, of seeing how high the offense spiked. You just kind of feel like it's normalizing a little bit here in 2022 as Aklinski takes there in the count 3-1. Whether that's the fact that everyone played last year and there wasn't the getting back from COVID situation, the change with the automatic ball strike system, combination of everything, moving the mound back, whatever reasons behind the spike in offense. you do get the sense of more normalcy this year as Aklinski fouls it off in the count 3-2. I mean, it's the Atlantic League. You're still going to get your 21-8s that we had on Saturday between Southern Maryland and Lexington. The Rockers, 2 pitching duels in their first 4 games. That one's down in the dirt, doesn't even make it to the plate. It's ball 4. And Hunter Spear has walked the first 2 batters in the bottom of the 7th inning, and that'll bring up Ladendorf, who has a triple already today. Shaver's going to go out and talk with Spear. Wheel goes to second, Aklinski to first. Ladendorf broke out of that lengthy slide with that 2-run triple back in the 5th inning. That was his first and second RBI of the night. The first and second RBI of the year as well. So the Rockers once again with a man in scoring position. A situation where they've been 4 out of 8 tonight. Fastball from Spear upstairs in the count 1-0. And a right-hander just got up in the bullpen for the Barnstormers. I believe that's Donald Goodson. Here comes the pitch. Ladendorf swings, hits that one between third and short into right field. Jamie Keefe is going to hold Wheel at third. And Ladendorf's second hit of the night loads the bases for the Rockers in the 7th. Again, they lead it 9-0. As Chris Proctor comes up, he's got a 2-hit game and a 2 RBI game. A single, a double, and a sac fly. Rockers have loaded the bases. The first 3 hitters of the inning, walk, single. Proctor's hitting .375. Takes a curveball for a strike. In the count 0-1. He's 3 out of 8 on the year. Mike Galino in that similar neighborhood. Galino is 5 out of 9. So overall, catcher's hitting 8 for 17 for the Rockers. High fastball and a little bit away to Proctor in the count 1-1. Jay Gonzalez waiting in the on-deck circle, the number 9 hitter in the lineup. Rockers have had production top to bottom. Here comes the 1-1 to Proctor. Curveball, it's a called strike. And the count 1-2. The Rockers could score. Would be the second game this year where they've hit double figures. Took them 6 games last year, and the second one came against Lancaster. Proctor takes outside in the count 2-2. Some interesting similarities there. It actually came in the middle game of a 3-game set, too. So, some nods to 2021. A 2-2 coming to Proctor. Fastball hit on the ground up the middle. It'll be a tough play. And it's going to be bobbled by the shortstop Hoover. Wheel comes in and scores. Everyone is safe. We'll see how that gets scored. I think it may be an error. We'll see. It is 10-0 though. The Rockers have reached the double figure mark. Jay Gonzalez, the batter. The scoreboard is showing hits, so Chris Proctor may have himself a 3-hit night. It's Jay Gonzalez, the batter. Curveball low. And the count 1-0. Largest margin of victory in Rockers history was 11. It was an 11-0 shutout over the Ducks on May 21st, 2019. Spear delivers curveball to Gonzalez, takes for a strike, and the count 1-1. Still waiting on the scoring. Now they've gotten rid of the hit on the scoreboard and put an error up. It looks like it will be an error on Hoover. So that fastball low to Gonzalez, count 2-1. So it's an E6, no RBI for Proctor. And I think that's the right call. I do think that it was a play that Hoover probably should have made. The base is still loaded with no one out. The 2-1 to Gonzalez. He chops this one over to second. Mercedes will take it himself to second for one. The throw to first is low, but it's in time. And that's a double play. Aklinski scores, but no RBI to Gonzalez. Ladendorf goes to third. That is a 4-3 double play as Gonzalez rolls into it. Mercedes takes it to second and then throws to first. That'll bring up the top of the lineup in Johnny Field now. Also, anybody else scoring from this point out? An unearned run this inning as Field swings and misses at the high fastball. It is now an 11-0 Rockers lead, which ties their, if it holds, would be their largest margin of victory in franchise history, tying a mark set in 2019 as a pitch to Field inside, the count 1-1. The runner at third base is Ladendorf. Here comes the 1-1 from Spear. And Field will foul it straight back, and the count is now 1-2. Gastonia on top 14-3 in their game against Kentucky after 7. As Spear comes set, here comes the 1-2. Field breaks his bat, hits it towards Mercedes at second. That'll do it here in the bottom of the 7th inning. But the Rockers do score a couple more. And through 7 innings of play, lead it 11-0 on the Rockers Baseball Network.
Thank you, Tom. All right, guys, let's make some noise. We have 2 High Point University students with me. We have both Trey and Aaron. They are super excited for this. Come on over here, guys. Direct your way down here. Object of the game. You guys are going to run at each other like sumo wrestling. The best 2 out of 3 to knock the other person down is the winner. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1, rock the ball! Oh my gosh, way down. That did not sound good. Let's make some noise for round 2. Just don't get hurt, guys. 3, 2, 1, rock the ball! Oh my gosh! Holy cow! Getting a little wild over here. One more. All right, we're calling it quits. But thank you, guys. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Top of the 8th inning, and the Rockers head to the bullpen. Tanner Duncan is done after 1-2-3 inning of work. And it will be number 35, Max McDowell, one of the new Rockers, coming in to pitch in this 11-run lead. Max McDowell went 1-6 in 2019 when he pitched at St. Michael's in the NE10. And then after that, the Rockers actually got him from the Black Sox of the Yinzer Baseball Confederacy. When the Rockers had their spring training this year, if you remember, there were a couple of games I said were closed scrimmages. They were against these the Black Sox from the Yinzer Baseball Confederacy, and McDowell obviously impressed in one of his outings to the point where Rockers needed an arm, and here he is. He'll be facing Ladarius Clark, Jake Hoover, and Melvin Mercedes, the top of the 8th inning. And McDowell's first pitch, a fastball that sails up, and the count 1-0. Ladarius Clark on the day 0 for 2. The Rockers working on a 3-hit shutout. And here comes the 1-0. Popped up. Right side, Michael Russell going out into shallow right, backing up on it, and making the catch for the first out in the 8th inning. That'll bring up Jake Hoover now. Jake Hoover 0 for 2 with a strikeout. And McDowell's first pitch, a fastball, that's a called strike. So again, we look ahead to tomorrow. It's Cooper Cassad will take the ball. That's that curveball just missing from Duncan. Also, just a clarification, the 11-run lead for the Rockers, their largest margin of victory at home is 11. Their largest margin of victory overall is 12. That was set against the York Revolution last year. If you'll remember that game early on in the year, that pitch, a swing and a miss, and the count 2-2. If you'll remember early on in the year, I think it was game 4 of that series, because it was the opening day was rained out. They played Saturday. Sunday was a doubleheader, and then Monday's makeup game of Friday, because everything got pushed back. That pitch inside, and the count goes full. But that day, Bryce Hensley got the start. I believe it was Austin Nicely, I think, the starting pitcher for the Revolution. Ended up walking, I think, in the neighborhood of 7 or 8 runs in the first inning. Here comes the pitch from McDowell. That's down and in. And the count goes full. There's a right-hander up in the bullpen again for the Barnstormers. I do think that's Donald Goodson out there. Here comes the payoff pitch from McDowell. Popped up, foul territory, third base side. Long run for Xander Wheel. It's going to be close. He might have a play. He reaches over. Did he make the catch? Yes, he did. Xander Wheel, a nice play over at the boundary, and that's out number 2. And that'll bring up Melvin Mercedes. The game all but over, but hey, still a fantastic play over there by the Rockers' third baseman. He's had a good day all around. Couple runs scored, an inside the park homer, and a nice play down the third base line. Melvin Mercedes 0 for 3. That misses outside, ball 1. Rockers 4 outs away from their first shutout of the year, which would already tie their number from last year. We'll look back in 2019 and check how many they had. That pitch, a strike. 2019 shutouts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That pitch just missed outside. The count 1-1. 6, 7, 8. This was a good pitching team. 9, 10, 11. By my count, 11 shutouts pitched in 2019. That was a staff with Joe Van Meter, Dominic DeMasi, Edwin Carl put in some nice work, and Michael Bowden came in late and did his thing. John Brownell as well. The 2019 team had very, very good pitching as Melvin Mercedes works a 2-out walk, and that'll bring up Trace Lair. Well, you look at the success of Frank Viola's pitching staffs in the Atlantic League. In 2019, the Rockers lead the Atlantic League in earned run average. Last year, they finished second to just the Long Island Ducks. And, you know, this is a team in the league that requires you to constantly be looking for players because as guys get their contracts selected either from foreign leagues or from affiliated ball, injuries happen, you're constantly looking to replace. And the Rockers have been very successful at finding these players to fill in holes and bring in guys like Craig Stem came in late in 2019, was fantastic. Brownell, the same situation, and I'm sure we'll be primed to see it again this year as that pitch up and the count 2-1. I mean, you look at last year, Neil Uscali comes in, does a nice job late in the season. Logan Moore comes back from Philadelphia. Just plenty of names that you could say, hey, these guys came in late and really helped the team. That one swung on, hit high in the air to right. Gonzalez is there, and he'll make the catch. Lair is retired, and the Rockers pitching has now put 8 shutout innings on the board. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's 11-0 in the Rockers Baseball Network. Donald Goodson in for the Barnstormers. Hunter Spear is done. It was a little bit of a rough 7th inning for Spear. We'll give you his numbers. 1 hit, gave up 2 runs, both of which were earned. Walked a pair as well. And Donald Goodson coming in now. Goodson, the 4th reliever used by the Barnstormers today. ERA of 18, pitched 1 inning, gave up 2 runs. Both of them solo home runs to Gastonia. And he will be facing 2, 3, and 4. That's Russell, Downs, and Logan Morrison. It's been a tough uphill battle for Michael Russell. The average now 143. In fact, the front 3 in the Rockers lineup 150, 143, 130. And you find Morrison at 211, Wheel 294, and then you got Aklinski's 467. But those front 3 have been struggling a little bit tonight, or this year, but you find some signs of life tonight. A 2-run double from Field, the solo home run from Downs, and he just about had another one. And the high and heavy fastball from Donald Goodson inside. The count 1 ball, no strikes. Donald Goodson's got a lot of heat. Michael Russell lines this one into center field. A dive by Clark, not able to come up with it. And there it is for Michael Russell. A base hit finally snaps the hitless game streak. And for the Rockers, that is their 12th hit of the game, which is a season high. That'll bring up Jerry Downs now. Rockers have a right-hander up in the bullpen. That pitch down low. In the bullpen, it is number 21. Looking here at my roster. That may be the other new guy. I'm looking right at it. Number 21, it is Gavin Wayman from High Point University's. He's the director of baseball ops at High Point University. Here comes the pitch, and Downs will chase down low in the count 1-1. We did not get you those Atlantic League scores a little bit ago, so we will do that now. First, the pitch to Downs. That's down low, and it's going to hit Ruben Ramirez in the face mask. Timeout called, as Ramirez is going to have to walk that one off. Goodson's fastballs are nothing to be in the way of. Ramirez is now taking his mask off, and he's taking a lap around as Joe Geck is going to attend to him. So we'll take a look at the rest of the Atlantic League scores. We mentioned earlier Lexington beats York 13-12 today. Gastonia is beating up on the Genomes 14-4. They're in the bottom of the 8th inning in that one. Joseph Rosa, his 4th home run of the year already. Give him a 4 RBI day. Gives him 11 on the year. John Anderson in line to pick up his first win of the year. Reese Hampton, 2 stolen bases. Reinheimer, a stolen base. Davis, a stolen base. This is a dangerous-looking Gastonia team. I know we're a week in, but I've got to say I really like what I'm seeing from the Honey Hunters through the beginning of the 2022 campaign. The Ducks leading the Dirty Birds 5-4 as they head to the top of the 9th inning. In that one, Rusney Castillo, his first home run in a Ducks uniform. Brett Kennedy went 5 innings. He's in line for the victory. Actually, no, he's not. In line for the victory is Joe Iorio. Charleston tied it in the 6th. Staten Island, elsewhere in the Atlantic League, they have a chance for their first win in franchise history as Jerry Downs strikes out. It's the first out of the inning, brings up Logan Morrison. Julio Tehran, 4 unearned runs in 4 2/3 innings pitched. Darrell Thompson goes 5, gives up 1 earned. And the Ferry Hawks with a 5-4 lead in what has turned into a back-and-forth game. Staten Island a 2-0 lead, then Southern Maryland scored 4 in the 5th. The Ferry Hawks scored 3 in the 6th. And then, of course, the Rockers with their 11-0 game right now. Pitch to Logan Morrison. That's in there for a strike. We'll get you back up to speed here and what's going on at Truist Point. They count 1-1 to Morrison. Runner at first base is Russell. Rockers 11 runs on 12 hits, no errors, 0 runs, 3 hits, and 1 error for the Barnstormers. Here's the pitch from Goodson, slider low, in the count 2-1. Well, earlier on tonight, I'm checking my Major League scores right now. Earlier on, it's over. The Brewers had a no-hitter going against the Pittsburgh Pirates. That pitch down and into Morrison, 3-1. Was a combined no-hitter Aaron Ashby, the starter, 5 2/3 innings pitched. Pirates just have one hit, though, right now in that contest. Here comes the pitch from Goodson. It's a walk. Morrison heads down to second, or Morrison to first, rather. Russell to second. That'll bring up Xander Wheel. Last year, Donald Goodson, Rockers saw him a couple of times, but walks were a bit of an issue for him last year. 42 walks in 53 innings. He struck out 55, but 11 wild pitches and 42 walks. Slider to Wheel. Wheel fouls it off, and the count 0-1. Xander, who's had a good day today, an inside the park home run, a walk, a couple of runs scored. We are getting close to the 3-hour mark. Have not hit it yet. First pitch was exactly 6:35, so we've got another 11 minutes before the 3-hour mark is reached. Rockers undefeated this year when scoring 5 runs or more. They were 3-0 coming into today. And barring some insane catastrophe in the top of the 9th inning, will improve to 4-0 in that category. They will also improve to 14-2 all time against the Barnstormers at Truist Point. That one misses, count 2-1. A lot of fans still here, at least a large portion of the fan base that was here to begin with. They've stuck around. Rockers, though, will be heading to 2 games over 500 at 4-2. And again, keeping an eye on Charleston and Gastonia. Gastonia looks like they're going to win and will remain a game ahead of High Point. But Charleston right now, unless they get something going in the bottom of the 9th inning, will drop. And the Rockers and Dirty Birds will be in a tie for second. Wheel swings. That's tattooed. Going deep. Left field. Rockabye baseball. And Xander Wheel has a 2-home-run game. A 3-run shot. And it is 14-0 Rockers. Xander Wheel goes out of the park after an inside the park home run earlier. And it's a 4 RBI day. Xander Wheel filling up the stat sheet here tonight. That'll give him 8 runs batted in. And that'll bring up Ben Aklinski now. He's scored 3 runs in 4 trips to the plate. That pitch misses down low. And the count 1-0. But for Xander Wheel, 2 home runs, 1 inside the park, 1 out of the park. Steven Cardullo had the only other inside the park home run in Rockers history. That came at Gastonia last year. That's the thing about a guy like Goodson. He provides a lot of the power, and then all you have to do offensively is just square it up. This one, after about the 3rd or 4th inning, really never in doubt. The Rockers have just pulled away. As the 3-0 to Aklinski, a strike. He thought he was heading down for ball 4. Aklinski swings. There's a line drive down the left field side. The Rockers not done yet. Aklinski is on his way to second. The ball just now being corralled in left field by Feliz, but Aklinski's going to have to hold. And that's a one-out double for Ben Aklinski. The most runs the Rockers have ever scored in a game, 17. They're at 14 right now. Which ties for the third most. They scored 14 runs against Gastonia on August 31st last year. They scored 14 runs at Southern Maryland in 2019. Mark Johnson heads to the mound, a left-hander up in the bullpen for the Barnstormers. As the Rockers just pouring it on here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Not only would this be the largest shutout in Rockers history, it'll be the potentially largest margin of victory in a Rockers game. It is right now by 2 full runs. High Point just completely unloaded offensively today. Hope they got enough left in the tank for tomorrow. It's Tyler Latendorf, who's got a 2-hit day today. He comes up to the plate now. 14 runs on 14 hits. That is a recipe for success. Goodson also all over the place, and he's falling well behind in the count. And by the time he's 2 or 3 pitches behind, he'll have to throw something right over the plate, and that's what the Rockers are capitalizing on. That one way up and in, just about hit Latendorf. It's now 3-0. The Rockers will move to 4-2. And we'll be nearing the midway point of this 13-game homestand. Somewhere between tonight and tomorrow night, at some hour, probably at some point tomorrow morning, we do hit halfway. Latendorf fouls this one off, count 3-2. Jamie Keefe has not gone to the bench any, letting his offense continue to go up there and swing. The bench fully stocked. Jared Mitchell, Quincy Lattimore. Here comes a 3-2 to Latendorf. That's fouled off. Now, when I say fully stocked, also, though, the thing to keep in mind, you can have a 27-man roster. The Rockers currently carrying 26. 2 catchers, 5 infielders, 5 outfielders, which is 12, and then 14 pitchers. As Latendorf hits this one into right field, and Torrance will make the play, and Aklinski will tag to third. Rockers have a man on third base now with 2 outs for Proctor. The bullpen for the Rockers, I believe it will be Gavin Wayman coming in the 9th inning just to finish this one off. The left-hander in the bullpen for the Barnstormers, I'm not sure that it's not a position player out there, just in the event that this gets worse as Proctor swings and misses strike 1. Goodson pours that one in, strike 2, and He's finally one strike away from getting out of the inning. Rockers have scored 5 runs in the last 2 innings. They grouped 2 in together in they grouped 4 runs in the first 2 innings as Proctor strikes out. They grouped 5 in the 4th and 5th. They grouped 5 more in the 7th and 8th. That strikeout ends the 8th inning. Rockers had 3 more on the Xander Wheel blast. They'll head to the top of the 9th now, up 14-0 on the Rockers Baseball Network.
We go to the 9th inning. This call for bullpen is sponsored by Cricket Wireless. Working hard to keep you connected and safe with the Cricket Service Care.
Top of the 9th inning. And Gavin Wayman making his Rockers debut. The director of baseball ops at High Point University getting a chance here in front of a hometown crowd. It was a good debut for Max McDowell. Walked 1 in the 8th inning, but that's it. That was the first walk allowed by a Rockers pitcher tonight. Wayman last pitched for Ogden in the Pioneer League in last year, actually. 2-3, 9.14 the ERA. Pitched 21 innings, walked 10, struck out 14. Only gave up 1 home run. And he will be facing 3, 4, and 5. That's Feliz, Shaver, and Dugan. As the Rockers looking to post their first shutout of the year. Feels like so long ago, but Justin Nicolino, 6 shutout innings. He is going to go to 1-0 on the year. And he will go to 14 strikeouts, which will leapfrog past Cameron Gann. And although I've not seen what's going on in the rest of the Atlantic League in terms of strikeout numbers, Justin Nicolino should be tops in the Atlantic League in that category. First pitch popped up into left field. Going out is Ladendorf. Coming in is the left fielder Aklinski. Makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out. Here in the top of the 9th. That'll bring up Shaver 1 for 3. There is a little Gavin Wayman fan club here. Maybe some family or friends that's come here to see him in his Atlantic League debut. Gets that one over for a strike. Pitched for Towson collegiately and bounced back from an 0-7 2018 to go 4-8 the next year. But the ERA that year, 3.26. So he pitched much better than the win-loss record that year indicated. Nasty off-speed pitch there, and the count 0-2. And once again, a pitch clipping Ruben Ramirez. He's going to have to walk this one off. Second time today. Somebody needs to tell Ruben there's only enough room for 1 magnet umpire in every staff, and everybody knows that umpire is Calvin Baker, because there was not a series that went by last year which Calvin Baker did not get hit by a baseball in some capacity. Foul ball, wild pitch, line drive up the middle, you name it, Calvin Baker found a baseball. Here comes the 0-2. And that's roped foul. Count stays 0-2. Now the Barnstormers, after winning their opening day, have now lost 4 in a row. About to be 5 in a row. As that's strike 3 looking, down goes Shaver. And Gavin Wayman's got himself an Atlantic League strikeout, second out of the inning. And the Rockers are about to put the finishing touches on a 14-0 shutout with 1 out to go. Impressive thing, though, 1 walk allowed, 3 hits allowed. First pitch down low. And the count 1-0. We're talking about all the runs and everything. The fewest hits allowed in a season 3, or in a game rather, 3 was 1. Back on May 17th of 2019. This one popped up in foul territory. It'll go out for strike 2. Gavin Wayman 1 strike away from putting the finishing touches on this one. Not a whole lot of fans left here tonight, but the ones that are making plenty of noise. Here comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss. And that'll do it. The Rockers dominate from start to finish. They shut out the Barnstormers. And what a day from Xander Wheel. 2 home runs, 4 runs batted in. And when you add it all up, it is a 14-0 Rockers win. They take the series, and they've won 3 in a row. Rockers postgame show coming up next on the Rockers Baseball Network. Stick around. We'll break it all down for you when we come back. Welcome back into the Rockers postgame show, a game that was really not close once it got underway. The Rockers cruised to a 14-0 victory over the Lancaster Barnstormers today. They improved to 4-2. They have won 3 games in a row. And tonight we saw the offense that we have been waiting to see all year. Obviously, the scoring was all Rockers. Jerry Downs leads it off in the first inning with a solo home run. Xander Wheel in the second, and inside the park job makes it a 2-0 game. A couple batters later, Johnny Field, a 2-run double, and it is 4-0 at that point. Fast forward to the fourth inning. A run comes in on the Chris Proctor double. It's 5-0. You go to the fifth. Tyler Ladendorf drives in a couple with a double, or with a triple rather. A sacrifice fly brings in another run. An RBI double from Logan Morrison. Yet another. It's 9-0 at that point. 2 runs come in the seventh. One of them on an error. One of them on a double play ball. So neither one of those runs are given or scored as an RBI, but it's 11-0 at that point. 8th inning, it's not over. A couple guys aboard, and Xander Wheel tattoos one left field way out. His second home run of the game, his first so-called traditional home run. Rockers lead at 14-0. That's your final score. The offense, again, 14 runs on 14 hits, production top to bottom in this lineup today, but you also have to give credit to the pitching. Justin Nicolino, 6 shutout innings after a rough opening day, bounces back in a huge way. 8 strikeouts, only allows 3 hits. Tanner Duncan, Max McDowell, and Gavin Wayman come through in the next 3 innings to post 3 hitless innings of baseball, and it was just complete domination top to bottom by the Rockers today. We'll look at the Atlantic League scoreboard one last time. The Lexington Legends take down the York Revolution earlier today, 13-12 in 10 innings. Also going final, the Dirty Birds pull out a walk-off victory over the Long Island Ducks, 6-5, your final score in that one. Look at see how this one ended. It was a home run from Nick Longeye, a walk-off home run for the Dirty Birds. They win it again, 6-5, your final. Top of the 8th inning, the Ferry Hawks leading the Blue Crabs 5-4. Staten Island looking for their first win in franchise history. And then Gastonia all over the Genomes, 17-4. It's gotten to the point now where Carson McCurdy, a position player, is in to pitch for the Genomes. They are in the top of the 9th inning in that one. Well, as we hand out a game ball for today, it's going to go between 2 guys, so you know what, I'm going to give them both a game ball. First off, Xander Wheel, obviously, a 2-home run day, 4 runs batted in, very, very deserving a game ball, scored 3 runs today, but also Justin Nicolino, 6 shutout innings, struck out 8, gave up just 3 hits. Both of them got the job done today in huge fashion and convincingly. This was the Rockers team I think we have been waiting to see, and this is the team that we should expect to see going forward as showing what they're capable of doing. Now, granted, Lancaster maybe not as strong of a team, but the Rockers today took advantage of that. They win the series, and that's what you need to do. You need to be able to defeat these weaker teams so that way you have that momentum going into the weekend when you face a Charleston team. Last year, you'll remember the Rockers struggled against Lexington, who, of course, was the cream of the crop in the Atlantic Division. But the problem was, as the season got to the end, the Rockers were not able to get the job done against some of the weaker teams, and they struggled in some of those late-season series, and that's part of what hurt them in the postseason. You've got to be able to beat the teams you know you can beat, and that is exactly what we saw happen tonight. Game 3, the series finale tomorrow. Cooper Cassad, Augie Silk, the pitching matchup. Cooper Cassad looking to build off of an opening start of 6 innings and 1 earned run allowed. The Rockers look to go for the series sweep as they welcome in Charleston in on Friday. But again, tomorrow, it's Thirsty Thursday at the ballpark. Get your tickets, highpointrockers.com. Come on out, watch your High Point Rockers try to go for that series sweep. That'll wrap everything up for us here today. A big shout out to everyone down in the control room as usual and the Rockers media department. I'm Kendrick Fruits wishing you a rocking good night. Your final score, the Rockers shut out the Lancaster Barnstormers 14-0. This has been a presentation of High Point Rockers Baseball on the Rockers Baseball Network.